Hi, my name is Steve Miller and I'm your professor for Psychology 2. And I'm really looking forward to delivering this course. And I hope that you can find some really good value out of this course for yourself, or for your future career, or just to round out your personal experience and your own perspective. Now, there are some things that we need to review before we get started. So I'm glad you're watching this video now, and I would encourage you to watch it right through to the end. Then jump in and do your orientation quiz. It is due to be completed and it will be shut down on September 26th at 5 p.m. So you have 3 weeks to get that done, and it's based on the content in this video and your syllabus. In this video, I'm going to highlight a bunch of things that I think are important that will help you get started in this class. I'll let you know about what asynchronous means, where in Blackboard you're going to find all the information you need to be successful in this class. And I'm going to demonstrate in this video where all the required documents are, other content that you will need, how to write a test, how to hand in your assignment and complete a journal. That will be something I'll be reviewing here. In addition, I'm going to walk you through how to contact me, what are the email protocols. So there's a lot we're going to cover, so let's get started. I'm going to begin by starting with what is an asynchronous course. You may be noticed on your timetable that there wasn't a spot saying when we meet. It's because only things that make it onto your roster are those that are synchronous. Everybody meets at the same time in the same place, whether that's online or in a class. Asynchronous just means you can take the course anytime you want. So that just sort of reminds you that unlike the synchronous and in class, these schedules are attended at a particular time and day. Yours are not. So you have to find the time to put that in. So while I would recommend you use a calendar to get all your course material put in, make sure that when you're doing that, you look to see where you'll designate your 3 hours of time to dedicate towards Psychology 2. Now, before I give you the tour of our Blackboard shell, there's a few things that I'd like to give you some heads up just about what we're going to cover, or roughly what we're going to cover. You'll find in your e-text, we won't be using all of the chapters. That's because that same text is used for Psychology 1 and Psychology 2. We do half the chapters in 1 and the other half in 2. So in this case, we're going to look at a bunch of research-based foundations of psychology. We're going to look at a variety of different topics. We're going to begin with what is psychology and what's the research foundation behind it. We'll consider topics like biology and psychology, thinking, intelligence, and language, and the role that it plays in our lives. We'll consider the development or developmental model. How do we age from children to really old? What are the stages that we go through, and how do they influence, and how do we influence ourselves through those stages? Every week we'll cover a chapter. Every 2 weeks we'll cover one chapter. So let's get into Blackboard and see where everything is for this class. And I'm going to walk you through some key information in our Blackboard shell. The first I want to just highlight are these tabs at the top. Now, the content tab is where we start. There is a calendar, so you can use it to put things in. The dates that are associated with the due dates of journals, tests, and assignments for this class are also in the calendar. However, the calendar does not have the start dates. Journals are open for 2 weeks, tests for 1 week. Only the due dates are in the calendar. Announcements, when you open up a shell, if there is an announcement, that's going to pop up right in front of the screen in front of us. If the announcement has already been seen, you can go and click on announcement and it will show announcements that are listed there. I don't use the discussion. Grade Center, or the grade book, is where you go to check how you're doing. Messages is a place that you can send messages. You can send them to me, or you can send them to other students. Analytics, The analytics for you are different from the analytics for me. I think the only thing under analytics for you is for you to compare yourself versus other students, and I don't know how useful that is personally. Groups. Now this will play somewhere you need to go. Now I'm going to click here. You're not going to see anything. Now it's just because Blackboard Ultra doesn't recognize me as a student, therefore I can't see what you see on things like groups. So I can't demonstrate that for you. However, when the class starts, click on groups. You're going to see that there are groups. Click on that and it will open up and you will see which group you're a part of. Now it's important to note that you are a part of a group by topic only. You don't work as a group. So each group has a topic from our textbook chapters. And now I'll explain that further when we get to the assignment, but that's how it connects. It's not group work, but it is a topic. You need to use your textbook to go into that chapter of your topic and see what interests you that you'd like to do a little bit of research on for your assignment. Okay, let's move on to Course Essentials. Course Essentials is an element that the college asks us to put in that gives you some insight into getting started in our course. But basically, it's a welcome from the college, a land acknowledgement, and some Blackboard support. Now, that Blackboard support comes from Blackboard, not from Georgian College, just so you know. Okay, now, make sure this is one place you must get started right away. This is an important one. So we'll click on it and it's going to open up to get your syllabus. Now there's two things you can do here. One, more importantly, print it or save it. Don't just do this. This doesn't put it on your computer as a document you can see regularly. It only makes it visible here. You need to be able to download it and copy it so you can start sitting down and putting things, due dates and start dates into your calendars. So instead, click there and download the original file. I make a video for every document I post, with the exception of the course, what do you call it? I'll show you where it is. I've forgotten the name of it at the moment. But I make a video for everything. So here's a short video looking at my explanation of what's important to pick up out of the syllabus. There's your assignment. Now I mentioned about groups being important. The group just is for topics. So there will be a group for, let's see what we got. We have a group for biology and psychology. We'll have a group for thinking, intelligence, and language. We'll have a group for development, a group for personality, and a group for psychological disorders. Like I said, you're not working as a group. You work as an individual, but that group gives you an idea of the topic general idea that you're working from. Your journal is something that shows up, I think it's 5 times in this class that you will have to do a journal, and in that journal will be a video and instructions as to what to pay attention for or what to keep an eye open for, and then you give me 3 wholesome paragraphs of reflection about what surprised you, what did you learn, what made you go, Now, in addition, what I do is I've made some additional online success tip videos. The first one is one that I've heard good things about, and it's looking at a variety of things. I look at in this particular video is time management, looking at the role and importance of calendars and how to use them and how to manage your time. I also look at strengthening your Wi-Fi connection. If you're living with a bunch of students, chances are your Wi-Fi is not very strong because you have a lot of people using devices. Sharing Wi-Fi with a lot of devices weakens the signal. If you're writing a test and your Wi-Fi drops and your test drops, I can't fix that. And so you really got to make sure that you look after what's the best option for you when doing a test, that you have the appropriate connection so you can do that. And I also talk about balance, about the importance of keeping your life more balanced might reduce some of your stress. And then the fourth element I introduced was just your support services that we have at the college. Everything that you post for me needs to be a PDF document. I make this expectation because in spite of whatever software you might have, I may not have it, or I may have a newer version, or I may have an older version. I can't guarantee that what you produce in another document will look like what you intended. So please, if you make a PDF of your work, I will see precisely what you intended me to see. And that's why a PDF is so important. If you put a Word document in, I have a Mac and I don't use Word, so it's a little difficult. Okay, now I mentioned about using a calendar, and using this one is just how to use your calendar on your phone and on a tablet and set alerts so you can remind yourself, and it's helpful. This last one here is on ScreenPal, and this is the software, or actually it's a website that you would use. You create an account. It allows you to save your video to your account, and then you can take a share URL from that account and post it in your assignment. And that way, it's best that you do not post an MOV or an MP4 video. They're too big. We get 5 to 10 of them in there, the shell will overload and nobody can load anything else. So please, just the share URL. The last little bit in this section is the course outline, and this is the one thing I don't do a video with. It's a course outline which is essentially yours and my agreement. It indicates what you can expect to receive as an education and what my expectation or what my role is in providing that. And so it helps with our course delivery, but it also helps if you were maybe you graduate Georgia and you want to go to another school and take another program, and they require that you take a psychology. You're going to need this course outline because they need to see that what we teach is the same as what they teach and that they're comparable, and then they can exempt you from that. Okay, so whether you know you're going to another institution, this might be handy to hang on to. Let's get out of here. Okay, now that's one place you really need to go. All right, so that's an important one. So next is another important place, but maybe not as important. It has a very important element, that's your required text. We'll go there first. Now you do have a required text. It is Psychology 2 e-text. You need to, I'll change that, sorry about that. That's the CRN. You need your student number too. If I click on this link, it's going to take me to the bookstore. I can put the CRN in. You need to put your student number, but I'm going to just search it. And there's our text. You have a whole year with it. So if you were to choose to take Psychology 1 in the fall, then you already have your textbook. Okay, let's move back. And we'll go to Accessing Me. Now, in order to access me, it's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of ways. Whoops. To access me, it's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of ways. Email me. There's my email. Do not use your personal email. The Ontario Privacy Commissioner forbids the faculty to be using personal email or to respond to emails that are personal use. Use your Georgian College email. I will meet with you using either WebEx or MS Teams. Please email me using the appropriate protocol. The protocol really just means I need your name. I need to know what class you're in. I teach 4 different classes, and if I don't know which one of them in, your question may not make sense to me. And you need to fill in the subject. I do not respond to empty subject emails. And I don't make I don't send emails out to students on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are a day I shut things down and make videos. All right? Okay. Now, the next other important element, if you're going to write a test, post an assignment, and complete your journals, here is where they all are. So we'll open them up. Now, you notice Some have just a circle, some have a little lock. Anything with a lock is not ready to be opened. It opens on January 23rd, February 21, all at 8 a.m. The quiz is open because that's to do with this orientation quiz, and it closes on the 26th at 5 p.m. So at 26/501, it will have a lock on it. And this is your assignment. I leave it open from the beginning of the semester to when it closes, because some people do make an effort to get their assignments done early and out of the way. Last semester I had 6 people do that. I had it done in the first 4 weeks. I don't mark them until they're done, but they don't have that hanging over their head. So what I want to do, I'm going to walk through your quiz just briefly, because this is the same way tests operate. I will be posting the test up later, but I haven't got one in there yet. So let's look at the quiz. It's 10 points. There's 10 multiple choice questions. So let's attempt. All tests will look this way. A little brief here and instructions here. I will be putting the video, the orientation video here as well. And then you just go to continue, and one question at a time will come up. Answer the question, there will be a prompt to move to the next, and so on. Okay? Your tests will operate the same. The difference is they're not 10 points and they're not just 10 questions. Now, here's where you post your assignment. Now, this is for your assignment, but I'm gonna because I can't open these up in student view, I'm looking at this Blackboard shell in a student view, not a faculty view. So I'm going to open this one, and this is not unlike what your journal will look like. I'll change the points. Your assignment's not worth 100 points. And you will have an unlimited attempt over the 2 weeks to come in and out of the journal as many times as you want. So you start the attempt. Your journal will look like this, only there will be a video here and my instructions what to do with the video. And then here is where you will type in your 3 paragraphs or attach a document that you've made and saved as a PDF. Now for this assignment, which is what this is what you need to include and post in here. I need the URL here and the PDF version of your 2 research documents, your PDF of your presentation, and your PDF of your script. That all gets dropped in there and you're done. Okay, now your journals will be the same as that, only they'll have different content in them. Okay, so far we're doing pretty well. Let's see, let's close that up. This is a help area for you. This one here introduces you to the student system, where it includes access to Blackboard, Banner, and other student resources. Here we have the student success supports. You'll find student success on every campus, or accessible, and then Blackboard support and help. Now this does not come from Georgian. This is from the Blackboard people themselves. Now the last little bit I want to touch on is going through the content, the weekly content. So we'll just look at week 1, because they're all going to look the same in that they'll all have a breakdown sheet, and they'll all look like this, but the content, of course, will be different. In this week 1, we get the Explorer. What are we going to be doing? How does it relate to the learning objectives? And a to-do list. Now, every week, the to-do list will be a little bit different. And that's okay. That's because every week they have different things to do. Now, every week I'll put in either 1 or 2 videos. The way you deal with this, and I'm going to point this out because sometimes it alters on some students, and I want to make sure you know how to correct it. You click play, make it larger, come down to settings, and ensure it's on the HD. And that's all you need to do. Now, my videos are varying in length depending upon the content and what other additional information I will add. but I make a strong effort to try to not make them too long, but I want to make sure that I review the kind of content that I think is important. I don't cover everything, and I do add some additional material from my own background and experience. So please take the time to watch, make notes, and prepare yourself for the test. Learning activities, in this case, because it's week 1, it's a reminder about the quiz, and it closes on January 26th at 5 p.m. And then there's a summary. Every single week will have the same look with different content. All right? Okay, now the only other thing I really need to remind you about, and this is just something that comes up because asynchronous can be difficult regarding time management, as I've said. And so the thing I want to bring up is that there are no extensions. The only way I will honor and respect an extension request is coming through the disability office, where accommodations letters will come to the faculty and spell out what accommodations need to be made as a support for that student, and I will do that. No questions asked. The other request needs must follow the academic policy and responsibilities. There's a link in the syllabus, so please do go there and check, because most of the experiences that I've had with requests for extensions do not fit the college policy. Being busy isn't something I can support. Having a job is not something that is enough to get an extension, or pretty much there's very few things, but there are some. So please put your stuff in a calendar and get ready for the semester, everybody. Okay, well, this is going to complete my orientation and walkthrough of the shell. I hope this has been helpful. I'm so looking forward to getting started with this semester, and I really hope that you get a lot from this course. And I hope that what you hope to get from this course, you get. So good luck, everybody, and carry on the good work. Bye for now.